Hey now, welcome to episode number 36 of the Batman on Film vlog, which is going to stay the Batman on Film vlog. So all that nonsense that we talked about where we were going to rebrand it, decided to stay with Batman on Film vlog. So here's number 36. Short and simple. Batman on Film vlog. It is what it is, okay? We're Batman on Film. This is a vlog. Number 36. Rick, is that okay with you?
Yes.
All right. I'll put my glasses on so I can see.
You're mighty Texan today, by the way.
I am.
With that hat and that shirt.
Yes. Sugar Bowl.
Yes.
Okay. NFC East champions. All right.
This is really hard. So just so everybody is watching, my camera, I'm looking at you right now. I'm looking at Bill like this.
Yeah.
This is like being on a cable news show.
Why can't you look at the camera when you do this? You're more professional at this than me. Look, I'm doing it.
Right, but you're right. You're right there.
I know, but
on camera. You're right there.
All right.
It's easier if I'm standing up on a set or something. It's weird in the confines of my studio here, my multi-million-dollar studio.
Yeah, I take a peek at you every once in a while too, but I try to talk to the camera.
Where we, this is where, we record. It's a multi-million-dollar studio.
It is.
How was your Christmas?
It was good. Didn't do anything, which is what I wanted to do. A bunch of nothing. Cooked lasagna, and because I just wasn't having it with turkey and dressing and all that again. I was just, even though I love to Cajun fry the turkey and all that, I just didn't want to. I was tired of it.
Yeah.
So I know you did Italian for Christmas Eve, right?
We did Italian. We did chicken parmesan. We did lasagna. We did Caesar salad with a homemade dressing, homemade croutons. It was good, man. 25 plus people were there in my house.
Do you do the traditional New Year's Day foods?
No, New Year's Day's weird for us. Like I'm not even gonna be here on New Year's Day. I'll be in Austin this year.
So you don't do greens or cabbage and black eyed peas?
No.
Come on, man.
Bill, I was in the restaurant business, and I mean I still am, but I had to work every New Year's Eve for 25 years, and New Year's Day was just sort of a lazy day. We didn't do anything, so no.
Well, I am going to cook black eyed peas. Cornbread. This is so southern. Black eyed peas, cornbread. I mean, I'm not talking open up a can of black eyed peas. I'm making them Bill Ramey, Cajun style, Southeast Texas. Black eyed peas, cornbread. No Jiffy cornbread mix. Cornbread, scratch. I do green. I do collard greens instead of cabbage. I like cabbage, but I'm a collard greens guy. So some other stuff. I'm cooking gumbo today. So
collard greens.
Collard greens you don't like collard greens?
No, I'm just thinking of all the people that are watching this that probably don't even know what the hell those are.
I bet you a lot of people know what collard greens are. Better than mustard greens, blah, blah, blah. Collard greens.
And they go great with fried okra.
Fried okra. I put okra in my gumbo.
I just saw hundreds of people going, what?
Not seafood gumbo. No okra and seafood gumbo. But if you make a turkey or a chicken and sausage gumbo.
Well, you're talking about cooking with okra. That's more commonplace than fried okra. Fried okra.
I grew up eating fried okra.
Likewise.
Yes.
It's wonderful.
It is. It's very good. Very good. But okra not fried okra in the gumbo. Okra chopped. Okay, let's get it. Let's talk
about Matt Reeves' fried okra.
Okay. Matt Reeves may like fried okra. Who knows?
He might.
He could be a huge fan. All right. So we have not talked about Aquaman together except privately on the phone. And did we talk about it in person? Was there last weekend or no?
Probably.
Okay, maybe a little bit. Okay. And then I went to Rick's house last Saturday. So that's what we're talking about here. And you didn't review it properly. You didn't write a review.
No.
So this is kind of your review show, but we're not going to review the whole damn thing. So We'll talk a little bit about that.
No, I posted on everything proper, and we didn't put it up on the
Well,
site
yeah,
per
I
se,
mean,
but on the
yeah.
social media pages. Basically, what it boiled down to for me is I really loved the first hour. I remember sitting in the theater going, "Man, this is going to be an A minus film for me." I loved it. I loved everything that had to do with his dad, his mom, when he was a little boy, his initial training. I love the stuff with. Really, I mean, like some of the comedy in that first hour, like the selfie scene with the guys that come in, like he thinks they're about to gang up on him, and he's like, "No, I
Yeah.
just want to take your picture," and he's like, "Okay," and then he's like, "Don't touch me," and then as they're rolling along, they're drinking and they're partying, and the pictures are reflecting all that. That stuff was just perfect. And then right after the Rain of Fire thing, after he meets his brother in that first conflict, the movie takes a serious nosedive for me. And so that whole second act is really rough, man, for me. But it does come back up, and it has that last half hour or so really strong, and it ends great. And so, it was a real kind of a roller coaster film for me. So first act, awesome. Second act, third act, pretty damn good. So I gave it a C plus. I'm going to see it again, hopefully next week, because I want to see it in 3D. I don't know, man. Maybe what I loved about it will overshadow the things I didn't like as much, and maybe I'll bump it up to a B minus. But there's nothing wrong with a C plus. It's a fun movie. It's too long for what it is.
I agree.
That's my biggest complaint. I don't mind a 2.5 hour film, but this is not The Dark Knight, and I'm not suggesting it needed to be The Dark Knight. It doesn't.
No.
But you don't have it at the runtime of an epic drama like something like The Dark Knight. It just that's part of it. That they could have shaved off 20, 30 minutes of it. I think I would have liked it a lot better. But what I liked, I loved, man. There was a lot of great stuff in that film, dude.
You didn't
really
like
was.
you didn't like the Black Manta stuff either.
I did not. And here's the deal. Ocean Master, Orm, half brother, whatever you want to call him, very compelling character. All that stuff worked for me. Anything that had to do with Arthur and his family, top notch. Nicole Kidman stole the show. I don't even like William Dafoe as an actor, and I know he's not family, but he's like a mentor. I actually liked him in this film. He worked.
You bitch about him all the time.
He's ruined movies for me, Bill. I can't watch Sam Raimi's first Spider-Man because of him.
Oh,
It's so no, man. It's so terrible. It's like Arnold Schwarzenegger and Batman and Robin terrible to me. And I like Sam Raimi's Spider-Man films, overall. But anyway, so all that stuff worked. But when the Black Manta stuff, we didn't need him. Like the Orm was compelling enough. It felt like he was shoehorned in. And I hate to say this, but the actor, I don't know the guy, the actor that plays Black Manta. I thought and I'm gonna give Tom McClellan a shout out here. He felt like a Power Ranger villain, just real cheesy. And it was a weird mismatch because,
you didn't need him. You could have. I mean, he's mainly, at the beginning, of course, with the Russian submarine he saved, and then the Atlanteans basically hire him to take down Aquaman, Arthur.
Right. Right, which I thought
that could have been something. That could have been That could have been like a Atlantean hit crew or something.
Yeah,
I don't know what it was, but I didn't. There's the whole, learning how to show mercy thing, but I think you could have done that a different way. I kind of agree with you on Black Manta. I didn't.
But he shows that with his brother at the end.
Well, that's kind of it's what ties in. Yeah, where he didn't at the beginning with. He didn't show any compassion.
Oh, I see what you're saying because he didn't show that guy's dad or whatever. That's fair. That is the tie-in.
Yeah.
But I mean, you still could have done it without. Look, the bottom line is this: I didn't like the actor that played him. I thought the movie was too long. So if I think about what could have been taken out, you really could have just removed Black Manta altogether in this film, and it wouldn't have missed anything. It would have probably made it.
I agree.
And you would have made it tighter, better. Save him for the sequel because also now I don't even feel like he's very compelling or threatening.
I was about to say they have that mid-credit scene where it kind of said, Black Manta's coming back, and he pairs up with that scientist dude,
right?
And I want to see something different. I don't care. Like, say if James Wan comes back, make up a whole new freaking Aquaman villain, because in a nutshell, it's like Mira, Ocean Master, Black Manta, and Aquaman, and that's about it. I mean, if you want to count Aqualad and all that nonsense, but I mean, do something original. I think you know what I mean. I mean,
absolutely. No, yeah, I know what you mean. I don't have a problem. I don't have a problem.
Are we pigeonholed now to with Aquaman 2 being the return of Black Manta as the main villain? I hope not.
Well, obviously we are, and again, it's just not very. And look, and maybe they'll pull it off. I don't know. I don't think that actor is very good. So, but let's come back around to what I liked, because I liked more than I disliked. Yeah. So it was too long. I didn't like Black Manta. I loved everything, like I said, with Arthur and his family. The whole middle section where it's the European excursion with he and Amber Heard. That stuff's a little rough. It's a little rough. There was not a very good chemistry between them two. Got a little too cheesy. You know, like it didn't quite work for me. But again, it picks back up, and that whole third act is good. Is really good, and the ending is great. That last confrontation he has with his brother is great. I love when his brother's walking off, and he's kind of like, I don't know, I've only seen it once. He's like, you know, when you're ready to talk, let me know. And you're feeling him going, you know, Arthur's conflicted, right? And he wants to know his brother that he's never known. That, you know, he's proud that he has a sibling, a blood sibling, but unfortunately, it's not going to work out too well. There's not going to be a lot of family reunions with those guys, and you can kind of sense that. And I thought all that was really well done, and the ending, I clapped. So like that's my whole ride with that film. First hour, I was like A+. Second half, 30, 45 minutes, I'm going, God, this is bad. No, don't tell me this. I don't want to not like this movie. I was like, shit. And then third act, it picks back up, and then it ends, and I'm in the theater going, solid. Great ending. Loved it. And so that's my ride with that film.
I'm with you. I gave it a B-. I mean, okay, we're splitting hairs here. I told you that the first time I saw it that I wasn't a big fan. I thought that Patrick Wilson had been was miscast as Orm.
I disagreed with that.
And I think maybe the fact that I like him as an actor, and I knew he was older than Jason Momoa, just kind of affected me, because by the third time I saw it, I said, okay, I'm on board with this. Okay, the petty stuff, I think he was fine. Of course, he resembled more of the Atlanteans than Jason did, because he looked more like the dad, the Lightkeeper dad. So I liked. Look, is it one of the genre's best? No. I think anyone who says it's one of the greatest comic book films of all time, that's hyperbole, or you're drinking too much Atlantean Kool-Aid, as I wrote in a recent op-ed. But it's the best DC film since Wonder Woman. And if you start with Man of Steel and count those films, I had it at number 3. I had Wonder Woman 1, Man of Steel 2, and Aquaman 3, and the rest
I have it 4. And this is where you and I disagree on Batman versus Superman. I'm not crazy about that film, and I'm really much harder on a film that has Batman in it, right? Just the way you grade it. But I'll say the complexities that are in B versus S, I think that I find that more compelling than Aquaman's fun ride, because Snyder does get some things right in B versus S, you know. So I still think that B versus S is like a C+. So is Aquaman, but it's like not as strong as a C+, right? I'm splitting hairs here,
but I mean.
I don't hate that movie.
He didn't get Superman right in BVS.
No,
he
did not.
Get Batman right in BVS.
Yeah, I don't want to get into all that. I'm just saying that there's layers and some complexities.
What did you like better? What entertains you more? I mean, that's where I get. I guess if you're,
you know, when I think about the Metropolis scene at the beginning, when I think about some of the moments in BVS, I feel like that. As a work of art, I just appreciate the film a little more than some of the bubblegum stuff, especially in Act 2. But let me see it again. Right now I have Aquaman right below B versus S. But who knows, man? Maybe it'll swipe.
I've got, again, Wonder Woman. This film ain't good as Wonder Woman. I'm sorry.
No. And
Okay.
I watched Wonder Woman last night. My wife and I both did. We caught it. It came on HBO, and we missed just the first couple of minutes of it. And she's like, "You want to watch this?" I said, "Oh, yes, please. Leave it." She had just met Trevor's, and that's where we picked it up and watched it to the very end. And, dude, that movie is so freaking good, and it's aging well for me. It's like I like it better now than I liked it, 6 months ago. And the no man's land sequence when she's walking through and she sees dismembered bodies and she's talking to that lady that's begging her to save her people, and the way that's impacting her and the sight of war and people hurting, and her telling Trevor's, "No, I'm marching in there. That's why I'm here." And then she walks up that ladder, and that whole sequence. There is nothing.
It's one of the best. It's one of the best scenes in comic book movie history.
It is so great, and then even Trevor's demise as well, and all that. There's that the gravitas, the emotional gravitas that film has. It's far superior to something like Aquaman, and that's okay. That's not what Aquaman is supposed to be anyway, and I'm okay with that. I'm not suggesting that. I think again, Aquaman's good. It's good.
I'll put it this way. I enjoyed it.
I like it. I love Wonder Woman.
I love Wonder Woman. The second time I saw Aquaman, I thought it was going to get worse for me. Because it did the second time. The third time and fourth time, I liked it more. So, but it stays a B-. I still say it's not one of the greatest. But it's very, very good. It's what it needed to be. I'll say that. Absolutely. I can't say I'm 100% invested in it. Like if there wasn't an Aquaman 2, I wouldn't be sad. Where I am super invested in Gal Gadot and Wonder Woman.
Wonder Woman 84 is on. Like I made a thing. I was just having some fun on Twitter the other day. I made a thing on most anticipated list of 2019, and it wasn't necessarily about movies. I had stuff about family and things on there as well. But I actually typed Wonder Woman 84, and I stopped myself and said, "Oh shit! Actually, that doesn't come out until
we got a year and a half."
Yeah, 2020, and but that's where that movie is for me. I'm so excited. Yeah. I think I'm almost as excited for Wonder Woman 84 as I'll put it up there with my excitement for Star Wars Episode 9. Nothing will be more exciting to me than a new Batman film. Wonder Woman 84 and Star Wars Episode 9. Those are like I'm equally excited.
I'm really excited for Wonder Woman 84. So.
Yes.
All right. So,
and Shazam we get next year, and that looks like a damn fun ride. I can't wait for that either.
Yeah. That's close. That's only April.
Mm-hmm.
So
I saw that trailer for the first time the other day on the big screen.
Yeah.
Shazam, and I smiled and laughed at the whole damn thing. It's great.
We're 4 months from that, and don't forget Batman on Film Shazam watch party in Austin, Texas, in
April.
Go to Batman on Film proper. Scroll down a little bit, and you'll find the details there. All right.
All right.
I mean, if you went to the Justice League thing, it's the same theater, Alamo Drafthouse, South Lamar. Okay, let's talk about going forward with DC on film.
Okay.
I thought Aquaman was 99.9% an example and model of what they should do with all these films moving ahead.
Yes. And may I just elaborate on that?
Yes.
The biggest compliment I want to give Aquaman is, despite the fact that I didn't like it as much as some of you guys did, no big deal. At the end of the day, that film was a director's vision, that he committed to it, and he laid it out. And I think that that's freaking great. And I want more of that. Regardless of the outcome is not exactly what you want it to be or whatever, that's the way to move forward with this.
There was no setup for any other DC film. There were no cameos. There were no overt and blatantly flashing light winks and nods and Easter eggs to other DC stuff. It was just Aquaman. The only thing is, they do mention that Steppenwolf, he helped defeat Steppenwolf. That's one line, one sentence, a few words. You didn't need it in there. And I don't know why they kept it, other than are they tossing a bone to the people who want it to be connected? I mean, really,
I mean, but look, it is the same actor, and so it is connected. I think just that one line is fine. It's that one line doesn't.
That's yeah. I mean, that's
If,
like that's why I said
yeah. I don't think James Wan probably. I mean, hell, even if he didn't want that in there, they're like, "Can you just keep that line in there?" He probably was like, "Fine, I don't care, whatever, fine."
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? It's inconsequential to me.
Because,
but
yeah, look.
But it was his vision. Love it, hate it, indifferent.
Yeah.
Yeah.
More
it's a James Wan film.
More people are seeing Aquaman. Way more people are seeing Aquaman than saw Justice League.
Hey, listen.
Okay.
It doesn't always mean that it's going to be good. I mean, Tim Burton, Batman Returns is a Tim Burton movie.
Yeah.
Unapologetically. And I have to admire that aspect of it.
I will
that film's not for me at all, but at least
I will defend any director's right to have creative control and see their vision through. Doesn't mean I have to like it.
Right.
Okay. Batman v Superman, for example. But going back, just to the one thing, except that that one line, and I mentioned a lot more people are watching Aquaman. I'm talking general audience, which that's what matters, folks. The general audience. I'm sorry, a lot of them didn't see Justice League, so that line was just it went over their head. They don't even know what that is, and
right.
That's
why it didn't matter, Bill.
Yeah, you're right. Aesthetically, it's different. There is a lot of amnesia it, Frasier it, whatever you want to call it, in that movie. There is. Okay? He didn't have any mama issues like they set up in Justice League. What was with Amber Heard has two different accents. Justice League, she has almost a British, uppity type of proper accent, and then in Aquaman, it's just regular old American or Austin.
To be fair, Carrie Fisher kind of did with Star Wars, and so did Natalie Portman in the prequels, for that matter. So,
yeah, but this is that was a Wan decision. Let's just
I watched a little bit of Justice League the other day because it's on HBO, and I actually watched the first underwater scene with Arthur, and he goes to talk to Mare about everything. Actually, it's where he battles Steppenwolf. So maybe it's not the first. I don't know. It's just where I think
that's the first time.
Yeah, but you could just tell even the underwater stuff
looks different.
It looks very different. Like Juan really made that his own.
Yeah,
and for the better, I might add. It's really good.
I know that they didn't show all of Atlantis in Justice League, and that was a lot with Juan. Didn't want it, but even
they spend all their budget covering up Henry Cavill's mustache, dude. Yeah, they couldn't afford Atlantis.
Even that Atlantis looked bleak. The small part you saw with the mother box and just I'm gonna get off.
Yeah.
Look, it was a freaking standalone movie. It just was. Period. And it's what DC needs to do going forward.
And people are liking it. It's working.
Yeah.
It's doing well at the box office.
Who are we talking about mostly?
Well, we're talking about fans and general audiences mostly.
General audience. Okay.
Yeah. It's getting a really positive response, and that's great. Critics aren't real crazy about it. I didn't expect them to be. In fact, they're a little more kind than I thought, to be honest with you.
It was reviewed better than everything but Wonder Woman.
I mean, I almost hate referencing Rotten Tomatoes, but it's at like 65% right now with critics, and like B versus S was like 27%.
Yeah,
So, right. Which that's also bullshit. That movie's not a 27% movie. I'm sorry. I mean, you might think so. I don't.
What, BVS?
Yeah, but I don't want to talk about BVS. I know you do.
Hate it. Never watch it again in my life. And I did watch the Dark Knight trilogy. I do it every Christmas Eve. I start around noon. I put in Batman Begins. I'll watch all three. And I had to stop, and I finished it on Christmas morning. But you watch all three of those films together like that, it's something else. Okay, I'm not going to get off on a trilogy tangent.
Yeah, it is.
Well, what do you say to folks saying, okay, Aquaman's a huge success. It's time for Justice League 2. Just got to execute it right. Get the execution right. It's all good.
Here's what I want. That's the last thing on my mind. I want Wonder Woman 84 to work. We'll see where Aquaman ends up at the box office. We can kind of talk about that before we wrap the show up. That's an interesting conversation, actually. We'll see where it ends up. We'll see if they do a sequel. We don't know what the hell they're going to do with Superman, unless you know something I don't. I'm assuming Cavill's out, and whether or not they relaunch that or rebrand it, who knows. We got Matt Reeves' Batman comes out. If I get my Christmas wish, I sat on Santa's lap and said, all I want for Christmas is a Batman reboot. So we'll see. I was a good boy on that. I want to see these standalone films work. I want to see Birds of Prey. I want to see the stuff from the DCEU that worked. Momoa worked. Gal certainly worked. Margot Robbie worked. All that stuff. I'm looking forward to Birds of Prey. I'm really looking forward to the standalone In a Vacuum, doesn't have nothing to do with anything Joker film that comes out next year. And I'm looking forward to Matt Reeves' Batman. That's what I'm looking forward to, is are good films that some might be quasi-connected. Others have nothing to do with one another. At the end of the day, it doesn't matter. They're just standalone films.
As long as they are connected, like Aquaman, I'm perfectly fine.
Listen, and if 5 years down the road, Bill, 4 years down the road, if it makes sense and it could work and they want to do some kind of team-up film, fine. But that's like the last thing on my priority list. Right now, I want these characters to breathe and develop on their own.
What I don't want them to start doing, and they didn't do it in Aquaman, is to start trying to set up other stuff.
Right.
And that's where you get... That's where it can get off the rails. It becomes more of a commercial for something else down the line than it is that movie. And just follow the Aquaman model. It was fantastic. Yeah, I follow it. I'm all on board. All right, let's talk about box office.
Because I'll say this: I'm
ahead.
really excited for Spider-Man: Far From Home, which we get next year.
Yeah,
I like the connectivity it had in the first one. I really am a huge fan of Robert Downey Jr.'s Iron Man. I think all that worked in Spider-Man, but I do hope in the sequel there's much less of that. So even for me in Marvel films, I want, like, I'm the guy that's like, I'll take the Incredible Hulk with Ed Norton over Infinity War any day of the week. I'll take a Spider-Man standalone film more than I will any Avengers film. I'm just more of that person. The characters that I like, I want to see shine. I want to see focus on them, and I'm just not all that interested in ensemble stuff. Period. That's just me, and I certainly don't want Batman in it.
Yeah.
I've talked about this a million times.
I just don't, and it's just me, and I'll say it, and I do think it's best when their films are like Aquaman. I just don't need all this winks and nods beaten over the head, and I don't have to know that these things are connected for me to enjoy the movie. I just don't. I mean, I enjoy the movie, and it doesn't make it better if, hey, Wonder Woman. Say if Wonder Woman showed up in Aquaman, that would make it worse for me. That would make it better. So
it would, but I'll always be okay seeing her. I'm kidding.
Well, that's a whole different.
I'm just being.
I know. Okay. All right, so there was a report in Forbes. Scott Mendelson wrote, and I'll use my words, choose my words.
Be careful now, because you never know. You never know.
He wrote an article about the box office of Aquaman, saying there's a chance. Now, his was straight up, based on...
I like Scott,
data.
by the way.
Yes, so
he's great. Yeah, he's great.
That there's a chance it could do $1 billion worldwide.
Right.
That's the bottom line. A chance. Outlets picked up on his stuff, on his story, and kind of changed what he was saying to where this thing is probably going to make $1 billion. That was a lot of the narrative in a lot of these articles. Hey, I hope it makes $1 billion.
I do too.
I think that I just don't know if the domestic box office is going to get it there. It's not. I mean, it opens.
It's not setting the world on fire.
It's not. I'm talking domestic here. It's not. It's at 137 million point two. Yeah. Domestic as of yesterday, and it's expected to be around 180 million-ish after this weekend. And I mean, it's going to have to get to it's at 629.4 million worldwide, as of yesterday as well. So we're talking about it needs about what, $370 some odd $million to get it to $1 billion. That's going to have to come from overseas, and I don't know if the markets that are still, it has yet to open, is going to get it there. That's the only thing I'm saying. I'm kind of skeptical of it.
I predicted 800, 850.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
People like Paul Shurey and some others of people that I like, that I trust, they're putting up things that they think is going to hit $1 billion. I shared on Twitter the other day. I predicted 800, 850. I'd love to be wrong about this. Cheers to it making $1 billion. I'm still skeptical that it's going to get there, and I'm not being negative. I'm saying just the reality of the situation. Yeah. I hope it does. I'm just saying, but I still bet it ends up around that 800 mark. That's where I think it's going to end up. But
800,
look,
800.
Let's be clear on this though too. Okay, it's a 2.5-hour movie, which it shouldn't be, but it is. So you limit your screenings on just by that alone. It's up against Bumblebee and Spider-Man, Spider-Verse, which I'm going to see today, by the way, with my kids. Looking forward to that. And what else? Mary Poppins. It's got some serious competition. It doesn't have to hit $1 billion.
No.
This thing's a success
already.
Yeah, absolutely. If it hits 750, it's a success. Yeah. And so I want us to get away from this barometer that these films have to be $1 billion to be successful. They don't. I just don't. Look, we're going to ruin good franchises with that bullshit, man. We are. Whether it's Star Wars or anything Marvel or DC. Of $1 billion is that barometer, that if it doesn't hit that means it was rejected. That's nonsense.
That is.
It's just nonsense. Did it make money? Did it have good legs? Did people like it? Did it have, did overall people respond well to it? That's where it's successful, and Aquaman has already achieved that. So whatever. Who cares if it's 800 or $1 billion? I don't. But they're going to make a damn sequel anyway. I think they will.
Yeah.
Look, Jason's too much of a star anyway, and I think he's pulling in people. Like, my wife wants to go see it, and she is not, she likes Batman. She's not just, and she likes Spider-Man. She's not real interested in like just superhero movies in general. But you know why she wants to see this, Bill? Because she thinks he's hot. And I'm telling you that dude is expanding his audience, because guys like him, women like him, kids like Aquaman. Like, everybody likes this guy. And so they'll make a sequel.
All right. You'll finish up on some Batman real quick?
Sure.
All right. So I wrote an article not long ago. I think it was in November or early December, one or the other, about Matt Reeves' Batman, that we're going to hear anything before the end of 2018. This wasn't going to happen. And I felt like there's like a 6-month window there where this thing's got to get rolling if it has any chance to be a 2020 release. I don't think it's going to be a 2020 release. You have Birds of Prey in 2020. In February, you have Wonder Woman in June.
Mm-hmm.
There's the only possibility is they release it at the same time as Aquaman in December. I don't know if it's going to get. I know I've heard and I've wrote and I've heard, because I heard they want to get it back to a summer release. They want it to be a summer release.
So we're looking at summer 2021.
If I had a bet, that's what I would bet on. But I still think for it to, and I don't see them, Rick. I don't see them releasing that a month, like in July. Okay, the Nolan films came out in July, except for Batman Begins was June, but Dark Knight Rises was third weekend of June or July. Sorry, I don't see them. Wonder Woman coming out 1st of June, and Matt Reeves' The Batman coming out 3rd weekend of July. I don't see them doing two DC movies, especially with those two tent poles with those too big of characters that close together. I may be wrong. I would say December is I can't rule it out. I think it's 2021, because I don't. You don't have to rush this thing, man. You don't. We're only a month over a year from the last time Batman was in a film on the big screen. A year. Think about that.
Yeah, seems like a lifetime ago.
We don't, I think there's something to be said for giving Batman a chance to, people to miss him and make it an event again. That's just my take, but we'll see. It's going to be interesting this first 6 months.
I think we'll know in the first quarter of next year, which is in 2 days, if this thing is rolling this year or not. And they have to get things rolling. It has to start filming by this summer for it to even realistically come out in 2020.
Yeah.
I mean, yes. Probably not. And that's okay. There's a lot of really cool things on the horizon. What I just want is things to slowly come out every couple of months. Here's the new Batman. Here's maybe the new car. Here's Alfred. Yeah. Here's comics that are inspiring. I know Matt Reeves has said some things in the past, but like, what is that final script? What was the inspiration for it? I want all that stuff. I mean, like that is what's exciting, is covering this thing, even if it's a 2-year deal. There's a lot of exciting things in geek fandom that are coming out between here and the summer of 2021.
Well, you remember how much we couldn't wait to see The Dark Knight, and it was never going to get here during 2007 and the first half of 2008, and that's 10 plus years ago now.
Yeah.
So relax, enjoy this.
Yeah.
That's the most fun of it. So hey, I wouldn't mind if it was 2020, and 22. And I'll tell you another thing, y'all. Just because you're not hearing things officially from Warner Brothers doesn't mean this project is in trouble or nothing's happening. Okay, we don't need constant updates. Matt Reeves is working on page 400 or whatever. How many pages are in a script? Page 47 of a script today, and he's having a polish on it. I mean, let the guy do it. It'll come. So that's all I got. That's my public service announcement for.
Do you still think he's going to ultimately direct this film?
I think 100% this is going to happen.
Yeah.
100%.
Yeah.
I think Warner Brothers is excited for it. I think he's excited to do it. Batman is their golden goose. He is the ultimate DC character, and it's not. Yeah, he can. It's cool to have Aquaman and Wonder Woman and Shazam and the Birds of Prey stuff, and who knows what else coming out. These other characters, but Batman's the man. Batman is the man. Does that make any sort of sense?
Yes.
Okay. All right. You gonna plug anything?
I'm gonna see Spider-Verse today, so I'll do a little reaction on that, and follow me on Twitter, Shewrick, SHEWRICK, and nothing really else going on. Ryan and I are gonna get some podcasts going for BOF with some of the new blood that's coming on to do that with us, and so that'll be fun.
Yeah, you wanna announce that the podcast is kind of it's changing a little bit. It's gonna have. Ryan's heading it up. Ryan Haas.
Ryan Haas, yeah, he's heading it up. I'll be in charge of the satellite shows, and he'll be in charge of all proper BOF stuff, which is going to be the bulk of our podcast. So
yeah,
so he'll take the helm on that, and we've got Garrett that's coming on board.
Ryan Lauer are going.
Yeah, Ryan Lauer,
and then regulars.
And then we've got Eric Holzman and Pete Vera.
It reminds me, they're doing a spin-off show.
Pete and Eric are.
Yes, straight out of Gotham, I believe is what they're going to call it.
Yeah,
it'll be not a satellite podcast, just a spin-off podcast, but it'll be Batman heavy, and those guys will show up on other Batman on Film podcasts. I might even show up on a Batman podcast from time to time. I did.
Yeah, right.
I just did one. I did a segment.
Whatever.
I did a segment with Ryan on the Aquaman show, so go check it out.
A whole 3 minutes.
No, I was on there for a good half hour, my friend.
I'm just kidding.
You didn't even listen to it, did you?
I have not listened to that show yet. No, I have not. In fact, I was going to listen to it one day on a way home, and I ended up talking to Ryan the whole damn way on that way home. But I'm driving to Austin by myself, round trip tomorrow. Coming back on Tuesday, so I'm gonna have 6-7 hours on the road that I'm gonna get caught up on that show and a couple other things. So
all right,
I will listen to it.
I'm going to plug the lasagna that I made on Christmas Eve. I'm also going to plug my gumbo, which is, I should enter a gumbo cooking contest. And I might. Find me one, Rick. Let's do it.
Cool.
And I'm going to plug, you can find me on Twitter at Batman on Film. And I'll plug Batman on Film, batman-on-film.com. Check us out.
All right. If you're watching on YouTube, subscribe to our channel, and then Patreon, support the show.
Oh, yeah. Patreon.com/Batman on Film. And Batman on Film. Batman on Film is authoritative. Yeah. I'm sad the 20th anniversary of Batman on Film is about to be over with.
Let's plug that. Go
watch
all the testimonials that people did. Watch our interview between Bill and I that I interviewed Bill. And then watch the stuff that Pete Vera did with Michael Uzlan. All that stuff is on BOF. That stuff is just fantastic.
Yes.
It's fantastic. Right. And Pete did a fantastic job with that interview, man.
That's about 7 parts with Michael. Rick and I, we're in 3 parts. But I have it all in one page now. And, thanks to all those guys. Hey, all of you who sent those videos, I appreciate it. Okay?
Yeah, everybody.
Appreciate it, yes.
Robert Ranke, April, Zachy, Frank. I mean, I don't want to miss anybody. I'm just going to watch
it. Yeah.
Just go watch it.
All
right.
All right.
Cloud.
All right. Get your mosquito on. Batman on Film. Authoritative. Definitive. And
the Dadgum Original.
We'll catch you next time.